Hello, my name is Mrs Thompson and I am going to go through your maths lesson with you today. So I'm firstly going to tell you all the items that you will need for this lesson. So firstly, you're going to need your brain. Secondly, you might, if you're not super confident with your times tables just yet, that's okay. You might want to get a multiplication square. I have posted a link in the description below. If you don't know where to get one, or if you don't have one at home, that's fine. I'm going to show you where you can get a multiplication square for free online. So have a look in the box below this video. So you need your brain. You might need a multiplication square. You're going to need a pen or a pencil. I've got my pen here. You're going to need some paper. So I've got my maths book here, my exercise book. It doesn't matter if you don't have squared paper at home. You're just going to need to be super neat as you can. But if you do have squared paper, then fantastic. You can use that. And as well, it would be really good if you had a ruler at home to help you draw straight lines. Now, don't worry if you don't. I just want you to use it if you have got one. In your books in school, you are so amazing and super neat. So the first thing we're going to do is I am going to show you a picture now of how I would like you to set up your book ready for our maths lesson. So it's all ready, it's all sorted, and then you can listen to the questions and do the working out in your book. So here is the photo of what your maths book should look like once you have set it all up. So I'd like you to pause the video now so that you can copy the exact same presentation that I have done. And when you are ready, you can unpause the video and we will get on with our lesson. Okay, welcome back. So you should now have your maths book all neatly set up, just like mine. Again, don't worry if you don't have squared paper. You just need to be really super neat in your book so it's really clear when you send your work to your teacher. Okay, so we are going to do formal written multiplication. This is something we have done before in year 4. So hopefully you will remember this really well. A bit like revision, and then you can move on to some more complicated questions. Now, another word for multiplication is timesing. We are using our times tables today, and we're going to be going beyond just our times tables though. Now we're in year 4, we can start to multiply slightly bigger numbers. But firstly, I'm going to show you how to use the formal written method. So I am going to show you a question, and then I am going to give you another question that I would like you to try on your own. So the question that I am going to answer, I'm going to show you how to answer, is 13 times 2, using the formal written method of multiplication. Okay, so the first rule is that you are going to put your larger number, your greater number, the number with the most digits on the top. So my question was 13 times 2. I am going to put 13 on the top and 2 on the bottom. And I'm going to draw my multiplication symbol as well. Now, this is where the squares come in really handy if you do have them. Because you can put one number in each square. So the next job is to draw 2 lines underneath your calculation. So the reason we draw 2 lines is to stop us getting confused when we write the answers in. Now, the next step, a lot of grown-ups won't have done this when they were at school. I know there are lots of different ways of doing multiplication, but this is the way that we teach children at school, or at my school at least, and we find that it really helps to reinforce those times tables. So rule number 1 is we call it tabling up, okay? And we are going to table up this number here every single time, this number here. So I am going to table up my 2 times table. I'm not going to write out all the questions. This is how I do my tabling up, and I can do it down the side or, you know, in a spare space. So I am just going to say the answers to my 2 times table, and I'm really good at counting in twos. So here I go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24. Okay, so I've done my tabling up. Now, this is going to help me when I get to the next step. So the first thing I need to do is not worry about this number 1 here. In fact, I can cover it up with my finger if I get confused. So the first thing I need to do is multiply this 2 and this 3 together. You might automatically know that 3 times 2 is, yes, you're right, 3 times 2 is 6, or 2 times 3. But if you're not sure, that's where your tabling up comes in. So this is 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3. And I'm going to draw a little circle around it just so I don't forget. So remember, we were covering up our 1 and we were doing 2 times 3. And I know that 2 times 3 is 6. So I'm going to write it in my answer section here. Now I'm halfway there. I've sorted out my 3. So now, if it gets confusing, I can cover up my 3. And now I'm going to do, this looks like 2 times 1. So that's the calculation I'm going to do. In fact, this 1 is actually worth 10 because it's in my tens column. But I am going to do my 2 times 1, okay? And 2 times 1, as I know from my tabling up, is 2. So I'm going to write my answer in here. So the answer to 13 times 2 is 26, using that method. Now I'm going to give you a question that I want you to try on your own. I'm going to write it here. So when I have written the question, I want you to pause the video when the question is on the screen and then figure out the answer. And when you've done it, unpause the video and I will show you how you should have done it. So your question that I want you to try is 14 times 2. So I've given you a little clue here as to how to set it out. You've got your 2 lines. You've written in the symbol of the operation you're using. Today we're using multiplication. So I want you to pause the video now and use my work to help you. Don't forget to table up. Don't forget to cover up if it helps you. And don't forget to write the answer underneath. Okay, brilliant. So if you got that one correct, you should have done the following. You should have covered up your 1, or you tabled up first. Then you cover up your 1. 2 times 4 is 8, and you write it underneath. Now you're going to cover up your 4, and you're going to do 2 times 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. So you are going to write your answer in there. So 14 times 2 is 8. Now, I'm going to move on to a slightly more complicated question because 2 times tables, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We're going to do 2 more questions together. The first one I'm going to show you is 37 times 5. So again, I have written my greater number on top, my smaller number underneath, my symbol, and I've drawn my 2 lines, ideally with a ruler. The process is exactly the same. I'm going to do my tabling up again, just down the side here, and I'm always going to table up this number. Okay, so I'm going to table up my 5s. Here I go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, oopsie, 45, not 48, silly Mrs Thompson, 50, 55, 60, 65, and now I could keep going. You can keep going as long as you like. It's always good for your brain to practice counting in fives. I'm going to stop there. So the process is the same. I have written out my calculation, I have tabled up, and I'm going to cover up this number here because it gets a bit confusing. The first calculation I'm going to do is 5 times 7. Okay, this is 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, 5 times 4, 5 times 5, 5 times 6, 5 times 7. And I'm going to draw a circle around it again just so I don't get confused. So I know that 5 times 7 is 35. But remember, you can only have one number in one square. And this number has 2 digits. It's got a units and a tens column. So this is why this question is harder. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to write the tens underneath here. Okay? And then we're going to write our units where we would normally write our units. So we've still got 35, but we've written the tens, the 3 tens, in the tens column, okay? In the next column over. So I've done my 5 times 7. Now I'm going to cover up my 7. And I'm going to do my 5 times 3. And I know from my tabling up that 5 times 3 is 1, 2, 3. Circle it. The answer is 15. But you have to pause here because I can't just write my 15 in here. I have to remember this little guy down here. So any number that you have underneath here, you have to add it on. So my 5 times 3 is 15, and I'm going to add on my 3. So 15, 16, 17, 18. So in these 2 squares here, I'm going to write 18. So 37 times 5 is 185. Again, I'm going to give you a question to do. I'm going to write it out just like before, and I would like you to pause the video and answer the question, and then unpause the video and I will show you how to work out the answer. So the question I would like you to do is 33 times by 5. Okay, so remember those steps. I would like you to table up, and I would like you to start over here, okay? I'm going to cover up the tabling up. I would like you to table up for every single question. So pause the video now, have a little go, and then I will help you with the answer. Okay, how did you get on? You should have started by covering up the 3 and doing 5 times 3. Now, I know from my tabling up that 5 times 3 is 15. Well done. So I'm going to write my 1 down here, and I'm going to write my 5 up here, just like before. Don't forget about this little guy later. You're going to have to add him on. Now, I've done my 5 times 3, and I'm going to do 5 times 3 again. And 5 times 3 is 15. Don't forget to add on your 1. 15 add 1 is 16. So your answer should have been 165. Okay, now the last question that I'm going to talk you through today before you have a little go on your own is, let's do a trickier one. 58 times by 7. So I've written my question out. The greatest number, the largest number on top, and the smallest number on the bottom. I've remembered my symbol here, look, and I've drawn my 2 lines. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is tabling up, because remember we table up for every single question. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, which one am I going to table up? Which number? Okay, we always table up this one. So I'm going to table up my 7 times table. Now, again, you can use your multiplication square for this, or you could use one of the songs that we sometimes listen to in class on YouTube to help you with that. Now, I will post a link in the video description to those songs. So I'm going to do my tabling up, and my 7s goes like this: 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. You could go all the way through the times table, but I'm going to stop there because I've got enough numbers. I'm going to draw a line so I don't get confused. So we've done our tabling up, we've written out the question, we're going to cover up this number here, and we're going to do 7 times 8. Okay, so 7 times 8. 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to circle it. 7 times 8 is 56. Remember, I can't put both my digits here. I have to put my tens down here and my units, or ones as they're sometimes called, up here. So I've done my 7 times 8. Now I'm going to do my 7 times 5. 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 times 5 is 35. But don't forget to add this little guy on too. So I started with 35 and I need to add my 5. 35 add 5 is 40. So you should have come up with the answer 406. Now I'm going to give you another question to try on your own, and then I'm going to give you some independent work to do. Okay? The next question I want you to do on your own is 54 times 7. So, if you could pause the video, I would like you to figure out the answer to that question. I'm covering up the tabling up. I would like you to table up on your own, okay? So pause the video here. Okay, so let's see how you got on. The first thing you should have done is table up. So I've already tabled up. So you're going to figure out 7 times 4 first, because remember, sometimes you can cover this number up if you get confused. So 7 times 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 times 4 is 28. So I'm going to do my 2 and my 8. Now I'm going to do 7 times 5, which is 35, okay? Don't forget to add your 2 on, and 35 add 2 is 37, okay? So well done if you got those. I am now going to write out a couple of questions that I would like you to have a go at on your own. Okay, and the 2 questions that I would like you to try on your own are 34 times by 6, or multiplied by 6, okay, and 39 multiplied by, let's do a tricky one, 9. Okay, so pause the video here. I want you to write the question out correctly in the column method. I want you to do your tabling up. Okay, so you should have done 34 times by 6, Should have written it out like that. Then you should have tabled up this number here. I know my 6 times table because there's a song for that one. So I'm going to do 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48. And again, you can go all the way through if you like. I'm going to stop there. So the first thing I'm going to do is do 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Circle it. Write it in. Now I'm going to do 6 times 3. And 6 times 3 is 1, 2, 3, 18. Don't forget to add on your 2. 18 add 2 is 20. So that's how you should have done the first question. The second question I gave you was 39 times 9. So I'm going to write it out just like before. Greatest number on top. Don't forget your symbol in case you accidentally add or subtract. You've got your 2 lines. Now you're going to table up. So I'm going to table up my 9s. Here I go. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90, and you can go on and on as far as you like. So then you should have done 9 times 9. I know that 9 times 9 is 81, but if you don't know, use your tabling up to help you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Circle it. 9 times 9 is 81. Write it in. And now I'm going to do 9 times 3, which is 9, 18, 27. Okay, so don't forget this guy down here. You have to add this guy on. Okay, so I'm going to do 27 add 8. So here I go, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and I'm going to write my 35 in. So you've done really well with your lesson today. It's not quite over yet. I am going to post a picture of a selection of questions that I would like you to complete. The green pepper questions are slightly more simple. So if you think, actually, I'm quite good at this, but it's a bit tricky, okay, I would like you to try the green pepper questions. And the red pepper questions are a little bit trickier. And the chili pepper questions are really tricky. So I'm going to show you a picture of those questions on the screen now. So you're going to pause the video, complete the questions in one section. If you're feeling ambitious, you could do more than one section, but you don't have to. I'd like you to do one section each, using the exact same method we've used here. And when you've completed your work, you can unpause the video and reveal the answers. And I would like you to mark your work yourself. When you send me pictures of your work, I am going to be looking for tabling up. I am going to be looking for people who have set their questions out using this formal written method that we've practiced in school. And I'm going to be looking for people who've challenged themselves and not just chosen the easiest set of questions. Okay, so here are your questions. Pause the video. Good luck. Okay, well done for completing the questions today. I am now going to show you the answers to the questions on your screen. So get marking. You might like to get a grown-up to mark it with you, and send in a photo of your work to your teacher. If there is a question on there and you think, oh, do you know what, Mrs Thompson, I'm not sure how you got that answer. You can either ask a parent or carer at home, or you can let me know via email. So when you send your work in, you can say, Mrs Thompson, I was a little bit confused. Please, can you help me? And I can give you a call and help you. Okay? Have a lovely afternoon, guys, and I will speak to you soon. Well done today.